Well, I just finished Disney Plus The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Does it soar or plummet? Find out when Johnnie Torch reviews The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The story picks up after Endgame, with Sam deciding to set aside the responsibility of the Captain America mantle that Steve left to him at the end of that film. And I applaud him for that. After all, it was a nice gesture, but Sam is Falcon, his own hero with his own skill set. And why the heck does he need to be this weird Falcon Cap hybrid? Well, the answer to that is obvious enough: politics. The first half of the show is pretty good, getting us caught up with where Sam and Bucky are in this new post blip world. It's a little slow moving, pretty much Sam helping his sister and her kids. I really needed confirmation that one of them was named Jim, with the family business, while Bucky is trying to get the red off his ledger, something I wish Natasha was around for, but alas, and trying to get on with the 21st century as a World War II era man. This is basically what I would call superheroes on their day off. I like the fact that Bucky mentioned he likes 1940s music, and that's something that I wish the show could have focused on more: the fish out of water aspect. It was the same in Steve's case, but he had the burden of movies. In a TV show, we could have gotten significantly more about what it's like to have to acclimate from the 1940s to the 2020s. There's a whole series right there. Anyway, I digress. Basically, the whole first half is meant to shame Sam for not taking up the mantle. Honestly, he gets it from all angles. Steve may or may not be dead at this point. I guess he's 115 or something, so he's probably dead. So it's not like he talks it over with him. He does go to Isaiah Bradley, played by Carl Lumbly, adding another superhero to his long resume. Bradley, who was the first black super soldier in history, was promptly forgotten by his United States government. Eventually, they break out Zemo from prison. He's finally addressed as Baron, and he wears the purple mask for a throwaway scene or two. He was the character I had high hopes for upon seeing again, but in all honesty, he's nearly as irrelevant here as he was in Civil War. He gets to help out for a few episodes before the Dora Milaje recollect him for incarceration. Sharon Carter makes a welcome return, but they still do her dirty. They do not like her over at Marvel, do they? Instead of being a hero, she's relegated to some kind of underworld figure. In a more forgiving world, she would have ended up with Steve. Now she's some kind of dark outlier causing trouble on the fringes. Betruk Dilipa returns as well. He's a fun villain that they've made into a powerhouse. Makes it all the more depressing to see them kill him off as merely an afterthought. The real villains of the piece are the Flag Smashers, a terrorist organization of super soldiers that are led by the ethnic-looking actress who played Enfys Nest in Solo. In order to shut them down, the government wastes no time in replacing Sam with John Walker as the new Captain America. Now, hold on a minute. Can they do that? I mean, Steve was on ice, 70 years? And he was never replaced? Now, all of a sudden, we always need a Captain America in office? Who made that rule? After Enfys Nest kills his partner, Walker gets roided up from the last vial of super soldier serum and kills one of her gang. This gets him stripped of his title, but that doesn't stop him from his pursuit of the Flag Smashers. The second half is a bit more of a chore, as the political overtones come out in an alarming frequency. Honestly, I thought I knew Burden from the CW shows, but this was truly rough going. Eventually, Bucky, Sharon, and Walker all team up to take down the Flag Smashers, while Sam and his new Wakandan-made Threads tries to talk down Enfys Nest. It doesn't really work, and Sharon kills her. I don't really see why the series tries to play her up as this noble individual. Yes, I'm sure all villains think they're doing the right thing. We already had that with Zemo. But I really didn't get the moralizing speeches when this person was an outright terrorist who already shed a fair amount of blood. But they have Sam reverently flying her down as if she had somehow earned our sympathy. The Falcon goes on to continue the speechifying with how the flag smashers shouldn't be considered terrorists, and how hard it is to be the Black Captain America in 2021 America. Again, this is the most heavy handed stuff I've seen in a comic book related show in a long time, and that's really saying something. Eventually, John Walker is approached by Julia Louise Dreyfus to work for her as U.S. agent, and I admit I was surprised that they didn't just attempt to wash this guy out of their hair. But U.S. Agent is a character I'm familiar with from the comics when I was a kid. He was a somewhat morally gray version of Cap, which was the popular thing to do in the 90s. I'm hoping they can manage to do some intriguing things with him going forward. At the end of the day, I was really hoping for more of a buddy cop vibe between Sam and Buck, and while there are moments, it's really not enough. I was hoping Zemo might ascend the ranks to being a tier 1 villain in Marvel, but no. The action was very good, no disappointment there, and these actors are always a treat to watch, but the storyline was way too political. I imagine this is what passes for comics these days, and they wonder why the genre is at death's door. I'm giving The Falcon and The Winter Soldier 2 stars out of 5. That's a D plus. Until next we meet, this is Johnnie Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.